A man had three daughters. One daughter chose to choose the path of drugs and promiscuity and chasing men and having three babies out of wedlock, and all three babies were three different dads. She struggled with drugs and was addicted to opiates for 10 years. The second daughter chose a life of marriage, two beautiful children, and she didn't work, but her husband worked really hard and took care of her, and she just loved her life. The third daughter, she decided not to marry, not to have children, and be totally different from her sisters. And she lives kind of an awesome life. She loves what she does. All three love what they do. Even the oldest one is doing real well. She's free of drugs and free of alcohol and all that kind of stuff. But she just loves her life with her children. She loves her life with her spouse. She loves her life. All three love their life. Which one do you think the father loved more? Think about it. The one who got free of drugs? The one who lived a really good life, doing very well financially? Or the other one just living a hippie life? Which one did he love more? Can I also say about the third one, she had her master's in finance. She did. She does. And she does very well for herself. She does all her stuff, all her work. And she's living an amazing life on a huge property up in another state somewhere else. But she's living a life she's always wanted to live. She's living the life she chose. She's living the life she wanted to follow. Are you? Am I? But I didn't want to. She's just awesome. And no, he doesn't have a favorite. He just loves them all the same, but in different ways, I guess. Anyway, the truth about it is he didn't love either one any differently. That's pretty hard on you, some of you religious people, isn't it? You see, people might think that he loved the middle one the most. She lived the typical American life, husband, two children, and, picket fence around the house, a white picket fence, that sort of life. She's doing very well. See, but the father loved all three the same. How could he do that? Because one of the biggest ones was he loved himself. He learned not to have their lives reflect on his. Okay? That's in the human world. But I want you to take this into the God realm, into the Jesus realm. And who do you think God loved the most? He loved them all the same. He does love them all the same. And he tried to tell me, he tried to tell me that there was no difference in the love he had for his children, because there's a natural love in there for the children that you have as your own. The love that this man had for his three daughters was amazing. But one of the best things to do is he accepted each one just the way they are and the path they took. He loved each one the same and didn't make a decision on which one he loved more because of the decisions they made. That's not how God looks at you. It doesn't matter what you've chosen. It doesn't matter where you've gone in life. He loves you just as much as he loves the priest or the pastor or anybody who's taken that God road. You know what I mean? He loves us all the same. And this is one of the things we need to deal with in our hearts. That I don't know what kind of life you lived. I don't know what kind of path you've been down, especially because I helped addicts for so many years. I tried to share with them that his love for them was no different than his love for me, because I was no different than they are. In his eyes, but in the world's eyes, I was. I looked better to many people because I was at that time, a pastor running that ministry or that home for men. And the men in the home thought I was better than them. And I try to tell them every morning, I put on my pants the same way. I do everything that's wrong the same way you do. I say the wrong things. I'm not trying to get off on that path, but I want to tell you that God loved me just as much as he loved them. And that story is in your Bible. It's in Luke 15, the prodigal son. The prodigal son, if you ever read that story with a God's point of view and not the prodigal son's point of view, you'll see that it'll change your life. The story wasn't about even the forgiveness of the son, but it was in the view of the son through the father's eyes. And this is where we can grasp true and receivable love from God, from Jesus, from your higher self, from the whatever, there's no line there for me. This is why it's not just about forgiveness. Because forgiveness keeps saying you've done something wrong. But in the Father's eyes, this is crazy. This is what I've received of a download from God, that we don't do things wrong. We just go down the wrong path for a minute and we come back to our path. Or is our path that wrongdoing so we can learn? I think we all have our own path. And that's what this guy also knew about his daughters. Each one of them took a different path. Each one of them made choices in life. Each one of them had different circumstances and different things happen to them. They all went down we all have a different path to go down. So don't look at another person's path and judge it. Don't do that and feel that you're better than they are because your life turned out better than theirs. It's not true. Your life is awesome just the way it is. You can't change your past, but you can change the way you think about your past, which will change your present. Because if you see that as your path, no matter what you've gone down, and you see the changes in your life that have happened because of the path you went down, then it's beneficial. That nasty old path, that addicted path, that promiscuity path, that sexual path, that whatever path you went down, stealing, robbing, going to prison, whatever, that path that you went down has brought revelation to you, has brought contrast to you, has brought change to your life. That was the path you were supposed to go down, because now you are a different person because of that path. Sorry for the interruption, my phone messed up. You see, this right here, this perception of life, that the path you've gone down since day one has brought you where you are today. That good or bad, maybe you're still on that bad path. Maybe you're still trying to get off that bad path. Just accept it, move forward, and don't fight it, because that path is your path. And when you see that, when you know that, okay, this thing has happened to me. It might be anything. It could be something that happened to you. If you ever seen my little video on this one right here, on heroes, what is a hero? Look at it, watch it, because those people's path was much different than yours. But it's their path. And that path has brought you to a place to be who you are today. Now, if you want to continue on the path, keep going. Because if you see the contrast, if you judge that path as bad, if you judge that path as wrong, you may stay on it. But if you stop and see that it's a journey, then that might change your life forever, in the sense that, okay, just change your perception about it. Just change your perception, change your thinking. Okay, this is my path. I took my path. I did this path. Okay, I just accept it. And when you don't fight it anymore, like the path of an addict, the path of an alcoholic. Alcoholic, we'll stay with that one. The alcoholic path is good to the point where, is bad to the point where you get into AA. And in AA, they make you stand up and say, I am an alcoholic, blah, blah, blah. And listen, I'm not bad mouthing AA. It's good. It's good. It gets people to a point. But then in that AA stuff, you got to change your identity. You're not really an alcoholic. You're a child of the King. You're a child of God. You're a human being. You're a good guy deep down. You're a good father. You're a good. But see, that identity thing will mess you up. I've seen so many guys in my past stay in that alcohol realm just because they're fighting against it. So there's a whole nother video on that if you follow me. But just accept it, move on. Sorry, I got off in a little different path there. But let's talk about the love of the Father. The love of the Father is He accepts you just the way you are. Just the way you were. Because He can see the end from the beginning from the end. He can see the whole story. He's not disappointed in your path. He sees something along your path that's going to change your life forever. But one of the major things is you got to see how God feels about you. And that's what the prodigal son does. That's what Luke 15 is about. It shows you the acceptance and the love of the Father. And that's where Jesus said, if you see me, you've seen the Father. Jesus never killed anybody. Jesus never, I'm not going to go there. But the point is, the story of the prodigal son is a story of how God sees you. No matter what path you've gone down, no matter what you've done in life, the Father still accepts you just the way you are. His love never has changed for you. Never has. And guess what? Never will. It will always be the same, just for you. And when you get that, woo, life is good. You start loving yourself too, is another one. If you follow my series here, loving yourself is tremendous. But sometimes we can't love ourselves because we think we're disappointed the Father. And my girls, yeah, those girls are mine. I am the father who has those 3 girls. And I love all those girls just the same. No difference. I'm not going to change. There's nothing they can do to change my heart. I will always love them. Dramatically deep love. Because, you know why? You know why my love is so great for them? Because I learned to love myself too. Yeah, when they were going through their stuff, and one of them disowned me for about 3 years, and long stories, but guess what? My love never stopped for them. Even if you've run from God today, even if you've turned your back on your church, if you turn your back on the Bible, if you turn your back on God, flat out done, I'm not doing this stuff anymore, His love never changed. His love hasn't changed. His love never will change. There's nothing you can do to make God love you less. And there's nothing you can do to make God love you more. So today, learn to love yourself too. Learn to know, and learn how much the Father loves you. He loves you a lot. He loves you very, very much. And anybody who's watched it this long to the end with this video, my longest video yet, I think. I love you. I make these videos to let you know how much the Father loves you. I love you. Let me share my love with you and the love I've learned from the Father, from the Spirit, from my higher self, from Jesus. Let me share that love with you that I've learned so your life will change. That's why I make these videos. So your life will change. I love you. Have a wonderful day. And don't forget to love yourself today because you're freaking awesome. Have a good day.